And here you can see there are varieties of the injection technique, and the intramuscular, usually it is said that in a standard technique, the needle should be held in 90 degrees, and the muscles, this is a muscle layer. Inside the muscle layer, the injection should be deposited. The volume of the injection should be given. Whenever the quantity of the drug is small, then we are going to use this intramuscular route. And subcutaneous, the needle should be hold, or the syringe should be hold 45-degree angle. Then the below the skin, let's see, this is the skin, below the skin, the injection or injectable material should be deposited. Whereas the intravenous route, so it is need to be about 25-degree, and this is not the standard what you call as this is the type of the injection should be given, but the technique may be a little bit different, but the site in which the drug is deposited is same in all. Suppose some person may hold the needle like this also, whereas this is the proper route what they say in standard technique. And the intravascular route means intravenous or intra-arterial route. Here one of the important thing is the absorption phase is bypassed here, and totally the drug directly go to the bloodstream without any loss, 0% loss what we can say. If you inject 100 milligram, all the 100 milligram will go inside the bloodstream. Whereas if you administer a capsule of 100 milligram, then depending upon the type of the drug, there may be chance of 20 to 60 or 70 maximum percent. Remaining 30% may not get absorbed, it will be excreted in feces. And this is one of the most precise, accurate, and almost immediate onset of action is done in case of the intravenous route is concerned. And the large quantities of the drugs, especially the fluids, can be administered very painlessly. Suppose there is a what you call as dehydration in a patient and require about 4 to 5 liters of the fluid, intravenous fluid, maybe dextrose normal saline, Ringer's lactate, or dextrose plain dextrose, etc. And at that time, this large quantity of the fluids cannot be administered by any other route rather than the intravenous route. And here there are certain risks are also there. Of course, the action of the intravenous route is very, very fast. Immediately after the injection, the onset of action takes place. Whereas in case of oral routes, then the absorption is a little bit slow and the metabolism starts immediately after the absorption starts. So here it is not like that. It's just like the unit mass of the drug is administered, maybe through any route, and whatever may be the route of the administration, the drug has to reach the circulation, and it has to get circulated through almost all the cells of the body. And wherever there are certain receptors, they are going to bind and do the action. So whatever may be the route of the administration, the drug need to be enter the circulation. And here there are few risks or adverse effects are there, because high concentration it is suddenly, especially in case of the heart. So suppose if you administered a what you call as anticardiac drug, or the drug which is reducing the heart rate, and there is chance that the collapse may occur. And sometimes there is fatal syncopes, means the animal will suddenly collapse on the spot and die. And whenever the drug is do have the anaphylactic action, the anaphylaxis will be very, very massive, because the 100% absorbed drug gets a lot of antibodies, and severe anaphylaxis type of the reactions will be there. And another risk of the intravenous route is there is embolism, means the formation of emboli in the blood. So there is clumps formation will be occur, and sometimes what happens is if small clumps, if they go and occlude certain very crucial part of the heart or the brain, then there is a chance of the heart and brain dysfunction. So this embolism It's very common, more common in case of irritant drugs. So most of the irritant drugs are administered by this route because the needle is pierced inside the vein and then the intravenous administration is done. Usually 90% of the intravenous drug should be administered very slowly so that it should not cause any adverse affections. And suddenly if you push something, the thing is the magnesium sulfate 10% solution, if it is administered very slowly, then it becomes muscle relaxant. But if the same drug, if it is administered little fast, it is going to cause the paralysis of the respiratory muscles. So it is going to cause the death. So here the speed of the injection is also very, very important. And sometimes the injections like thiopental sodium, which do have the very highly acidic pH, then they are going to cause irritation to the vein, and sometimes the phlebitis may also occur. Hence, we should administer it very carefully so that no extravasation means outside the vessel, no drug should spill like this. It occurs. Yeah, intravenous route, once again to explain more, it's injected directly in one of the superficial veins. There are so many superficial veins, and you will see what are all those veins. And either in a single dose or by continuous infusion, it is administered. And small amount of the solution is given by IV injection also. Large amount is administered, both small and large amounts are administered by the IV infusion for fast onset of action and 100% absorption. And especially the irritating solutions, many of the drugs like the oily preparations, if they are given intramuscularly, it causes a lot of pain and irritation, and the animal feels a lot of discomfort. So such drugs are given intravenously. And rehydrating fluids, total parenteral nutrition, and whole blood. And whenever there is a blood transfusion, no other route than the intravenous route will work, because other routes of the administration, like the intramuscular route and other things, are not suitable for the blood transfusion, the fluid administration, and irritant drug administration. And the advantage of this intravenous routes are, there is the bioavailability, means availability of the drug in the bloodstream. It is 100%. Absorption of the drug is 100% through the intravenous route, and very fast onset of the action. Suppose if you need an induction of the anesthesia in case of the animals, because you cannot restrain the animal for longer duration. At that time, you may require the fast onset of the action. So this sentence holds very good in case of the parenteral intravenous anesthetics like thiopental sodium, etc. So if it is administered intravenously, immediately the animal is going to have the surgical stage of the anesthesia. And acute situations and emergency conditions, this is one of the best route of the administration. In case of certain poisonings, most of the antidotes need to be given by the intravenous route, because the patient's state will be very, very critical, and the patient may die if it is not treated in proper time. And highly irritating non-isotonic solutions can be given IV also. Irritating means the drugs like thiopental sodium, I told, some of the drugs will have extreme alkaline pH or extreme acidic pH. Such drugs can be administered by this particular route is concerned.
Sir, non-isotonic solutions means.
Non-isotonic solutions can also be administered through the intravenous route, because most of all the times you cannot say that the solution is isotonic, because in case of the bovine ketosis, the concentration of the glucose to be administered is 20 to 50%. So it is a very concentrated solution of the glucose. So at that time also, the preferred route is the intravenous non-isotonic solutions. And sometimes the many of the drugs like this, what you call as the proteinous preparations, they also do not have the isotonic in nature. So they can also be administered over intravenous route. And the advantages, once again, to much few of the more quick concept of the action already we have discussed. This route is used when precise control of the drug effect is required. Here, suppose a exact quantity of the drug need to be administered into the bloodstream, especially in case of anti-cancerous drugs. Here, the body weight or surface area is weighed very accurately, and accurate quantity of the drug need to be absorbed inside the circulation. So whenever the drug quantity is required in very accurate dose, then this route is administered. Whereas in case of oral and intramuscular, there may be oral route, the absorption is up to the 75%, sometimes 80%. It is erratic. Whereas in case of IM route, it is up to the 85% or 90%, and 5% of the drug may remain at the site of administration. So, and whenever the drugs are very highly costly drugs, they are also administered intravenously. Yeah, large volume of the fluids can be administered. That's one of the advantages of this route. And let us list some of the disadvantages of the intravenous route. This route requires special technique, means the patient cannot take the intravenous injection except he or herself is a very technical person. This is not common always, and the normal ordinary patients cannot take the intravenous injections by their own. Some skilled persons like a nurse or a paraveterinary staff or a doctor is required for the intravenous route. And one of the disadvantages is air embolism may put life of the animal into danger. If some more quantity of the air is accidentally pushed inside the body, then it may cause a lot of froth formation and cause cardiac problem. And extravascular accumulation of the irritant drugs may cause necrosis of the peripheral tissues and phlebitis. Yeah, especially in the irritant drugs, especially this occurs especially in case of the veterinary patients, just like dogs and cattle. So they will not cooperate during the administration of intravenous injection. And what happens? The needle may what you call a slip and may come outside the vein, and extravascular injection may occur. And at the site of the injection, there is formation of the necrosis or peripheral tissues, and phlebitis is also one of important disadvantage. And this route is not suitable for insoluble drugs like oils and suspensions. For example, penicillin G potassium or sodium, it's a what you call a miscible drugs, means some particles are there in the injection. So such injections cannot be given intravenously. That's one of the disadvantage of this particular route is concerned. And and here a trained skilled or a skilled person is very much required. Just maybe a doctor or a paraveterinary staff is required for intravenous administration. And embolism is one of the common disadvantage, and short duration of action. This is also another disadvantage, because if you administer the entire drug at a simultaneously, there is very fast excretion of the drug. At the same time, absorption is also very high, and immediately after doing injection, the drugs will go to the kidney, and at the same time, it is also going to the what you call as the liver. And because of this thing, the action of the drug becomes very short. The onset will be very, very fast, but at the same time, prolonged action cannot be expected by the this particular type of the route. Here, in case of cattle, how to give the injections and other things, you will learn in third year and or fourth year. Of course, we are going to train you in our clinics. And here we have to raise the jugular vein by pressing the jugular groove with our thumb. Especially, we have to put our thumb and insert the needle 30 to 45 degree to the skin and wait for the drips of the blood from the needle. It should be come out, and then you can start giving the administration. And this confirms the needle. Suppose the blood is oozing out of the needle, then this confirms that the your needle is present in the vein. And usually the venous blood will be little bit dark when compared to the bright red vein of the no, color of the blood. And if a bright red color comes, then it is in the carotid artery. Most of the time, the side of this jugular vein, the carotid artery goes. And if the blood is oozing, a fresh blood is coming with the bright red color, then you should think that it has gone into the arteries, and you immediately have to withdraw and apply pressure. And apart from this one also, many other routes, especially the ear veins, and sometimes very rarely the saphenous veins and mammary veins are also used in case of the cattle. And jugular vein is one of the most common vein through which the intravenous injections are given, especially in case of the dog. Yes.
Sir, like in humans, we use drip injection, sir. Can it be used in animals?
What is that drip? No drip. What is that?
Sir, like it's a
Yes.
slow injection. Slow injection, sir.
Drop by drop injection can be given.
Drop by drop.
Yes, yes. Most of the fluids should not be given very fastly. The reason being is, what may be the reason? Fast injection should not be given.
It doesn't get dissolved and
In case of what you call as the intravenous route, always you have to give very slow intravenous injection. That's said. You should never push the drug fastly. What may be the reason?
Concentration will increase suddenly.
Yeah, that's
Shock effect.
no. The thing is, whenever you are injecting any drug intravenously, then directly it goes to the heart. First organ to which the drug will come in contact is heart, no? Maybe jugular vein or any other saphenous vein, or here it is saphenous vein. Means in the hind leg, the vein is right here. So it directly goes to the heart, and sometimes some of the drugs do have myocardial suppression action. So there is chance that immediately the animal may go to syncope or death may occur. And sometimes some drugs may increase the heart rate, cardiac fluttering or cardiac what you call as the fibrillation. So at that time also syncope may occur. So one should be very careful while this drug. And coming to your question, that's drop by drop the administration is only by the intravenous route, especially the fluids are administered, and sometimes the antibiotic, and most of the times the blood. Whenever the blood need to be given, need to be given very slowly. That's why the drop by drop blood will go inside the vena. And here,
Sir, hence it cannot be taken as disadvantage, no, sir. Like short duration.
no, it's duration. Yes, duration is extra, but it's always advantageous that it is directly going into the bloodstream, and small quantity is going to be absorbed. And suppose if you give the fast intravenous injection of the fluids, especially, it is not going to cause anything deleterious effect on heart. Suppose if you take the 5% dextrose normal saline isotonic solution itself, but there will be an overload on the lungs, because whenever you give the injection, directly the drug is going to the heart, and then it's pumped to the pulmonary vein to the that's the lungs. So in lungs, what happens is then the fluid may get accumulated there because of the override pressure there. So many of the times the fast intravenous injection of the fluid is not indicated. That's one of the things. Yes, of course, it's a time-consuming thing, and that's one of the disadvantage also. It consumes a lot of time, whereas in case of intramuscular injection, it takes the time consumption is less, no? Yeah.
Yes, sir. Thank you, sir.
Anything? Yeah. That's about the saphenous vein, especially in case of the dogs, it's given, and many other veins, ear veins and other things can be used. Saphenous vein, and ear vein can be used for. But the disadvantage of the ear vein is the vein is very, very small here, and if you administer the irritating drug, this gets sloughed off. Many times the tissue will get sloughed off. That's why you have to only if the quantity is very small and the solution is isotonic, then you can go for the intravenous administration through ear veins. And the next route is the intramuscular route, and deep between the layers of the large skeletal muscles. This injection is given and mostly carried out by hand injection, remote injection, and providing only systemic effects of the drug. Many vaccines, antibiotics, steroids, of course the tonics and many things are administered intramuscular. And the advantage of this route is fairly rapid absorption of the drug except for oily or depot preparation. Depot means they are the drug depots. They are very slowly absorbed into the circulation, and the drug is very slowly released. And another thing is long duration of the drug action than the IV injection. Because in case of IV injection, yes, we will get the fast onset of the action, but the duration is very short because the metabolism and at the same time the elimination starts immediately. So here, if the drug is absorbed moderately, then the duration of action will be long, and then the longer, and also the absorption is shorter than the subcutaneous administration. And fractious wild and zoo animals, it is very difficult to administer the intramuscular injections many times. Of course, nowadays the dot gun is used to have the intramuscular injections to the elephants and deers, of course sometimes the cheetah, etc. But there's one of the advantage of this particular route is concerned to the dot gun and wild. Suppose there is a concept known as the squeezing cases in case of the wild animals, because wild animals are also our patients, maybe the tiger, lion, and many other animals, especially in case of the reptiles. Like if a snake comes for the treatment and you have to administer the ketamine xylazine anesthesia, then this is the right route of choice. So intramuscular injection can be given, and the animal may be anesthetized, or any antibiotic, etc. can be given intramuscular route. That's one of the advantages in case of the wild animals also. In case of these crocodiles and other reptiles, so this route of administration is most advantageous, because there we cannot get the vein and other things so easily. So in case of tortoise, the injection is given inside the, what you call as, there is a thick tough coat is there. Inside that coat it is given, and the leg is pulled and the injection is given. And here you can see that the drug is injected deep between the layers of one of the large skeletal muscles, because these are richly supplied with blood and less with nerves. Here some of the muscles like gluteal muscles and the biceps, etc. Here you can insert the needles below the epidermis and dermis, and inside the muscle cell, where this is the muscle fiber, where the circulation is more and there is no nerve supply. Nerve supply should be very less, otherwise it becomes very painful. And this route is used for providing systemic effects of the drug. It's a parenteral type of the administration. And the disadvantage of this thing is large volume of the fluids cannot be injected. Suppose, yes, you have some of you have asked the question, but the fluids cannot be administered by the intramuscular route, because the absorption is erratic, especially for poorly soluble drugs, just like oral route. And irritant drugs cannot be injected intramuscularly, and the drugs which do have the pH, either too much acidic or alkaline pH, they are going to cause a lot of irritation in the muscles and not suitable for the intravenous injection. And this route is not suitable for emergency situations. And in the emergency situation, we have to go for the intravenous route. And another, in case of intramuscular route only, remote injection, or it's also known as darting. Here you can see that some jackal an animal. This is a dart gun. So this is one of the technique to be used by the veterinarian working in the zoo, because the animals cannot be restrained so easily, and they are what you call as not caged also to such animals. So this is a needle with syringe which is administered. No, it is fixed in the dart gun, then administered to the animal. So this requires little skill, and lot of practice is also required, because or else it may enter the intestine or somewhere else. So that's why you have to aim towards the muscle, especially the biceps or tricep muscles, and you have to administer such drugs, and administered with the help of the gun or arrow or non-domesticated animal, both captive and free living. So into the rump of or back of the hind leg of the animal, this route is given. Neck or shoulder muscles may also be used here. This part may also be used. Shoulder also can be used here. So advantages of the intramuscular route. So this is a route of choice, especially in case of animals, wild animals, because the restraining is very difficult. Very rapid absorption of the drugs in aqueous solution, and religious suspension. Sometimes the drug is having little bit suspension in nature, and such drug for fast absorption they are administered. And absorption of the drug is rapid except for oily and depot preparation. The duration of action is longer than the IV injection, because slow absorption and less low, what you call as low excretion of the drug means it's longer acting. But this is a little shorter for subcutaneous administration. Mostly suitable for the fractious, means the anxious or wild or zoo animals, especially in case of animals. And in case of the animals, many injections are given through this route only. And especially in wild animals, this is the preferred route, wild animals. Domesticated animal, you can use any type of the routes, but in case of wild animal, in which the restraint cannot be done properly, and this route is used. And
For depot
yeah,
depot preparation.
depot preparation means some of the drugs which are implanted below the skin and they require the long action. For example, progesterone is a depot preparation, and progesterone capsules or some preparations are administered inside the what you call as the muscle, implanted. It's called as implanted, and very slow absorption is going to be take place. That's known as the depot preparation. For example, Prolutan depot is a preparation which is containing the progesterone, because the progesterone requires, especially in threatened abortion, the constant quantity of the progesterone need to be maintained over a long period of the time. Hence, these are known as the depot preparation. And the large volume of the fluids cannot be injected by this route. There is possibility of improper deposition of the drug in nerve, blood and vessels, fat or connective tissue. This is one of the disadvantages, especially in case of the animals. Many times, because what happens is if the animal is not cooperative, and there will be some of the nerves in the vicinity, and hence the drug may not be properly absorbed. And sometimes it is not suitable for emergency situations, because conditions like cardiovascular collapse, syncope, shock may impede absorption of the drugs. So these are all the IM sites, especially in case of the cattle neck muscle, it's one of the important site, and the semi-membranous, semi-tendinous tissues, and triceps. Here also, here it can be given, and the gluteal muscles are present here. So these are the semi-membranous or semi-tendinous tissue. Here, these are the only locations through which the injections, intramuscular injections will be given. Or else, if you give